What up, YouTube? It's your man, Beefy Bacons. We out here! Woo! Breathe it in. Fall mushroom hunting, state of Wisconsin. Been dry around here. Let's hunt some Grifola frondosa tonight. Let's go. So that's what we're talking about? Yes! Big, huge Grifola frondosa right here. It's just a little old. I knew I needed to be out like 3 days ago, and I didn't make it out. That's okay. We're going to be able to use this one still. You can kind of see the white spores coming off of it just a little bit. They're not everywhere. We're going to definitely be able to harvest this big boy. Put her to use. Yes! Score, big time. So, Grifola frondosa is just a highly sought after, really prized edible. It's also got medicinal qualities. These things are just one of my favorites to find for sure because they're huge. Like this thing is the size of a basketball here. I'm touching mushroom. Everywhere that you see my hand moving is touching mushroom. This one is a little old. It's got a couple of problems. I see a little mold growing down there. But you know what? For throwing into stocks, stuff like that, this one is going to be perfect still. They got a big old base underneath there that connects down into usually oak trees. They definitely use the dead ones. They also can kind of be a sign of death incoming for trees when you find them on them alive. This happens to be an old base of a stump tree windfall, it looks like, but the wood and the old wood in here, the roots or whatever, is close enough that this one's growing on it. I'm gonna take this mushroom now and see what it looks like. She's moldy under there. It picks up rocks with it and stuff. So I can already tell I'm going to be trimming a lot on this one, but we'll take care of it here right now. They're dirty, they collect leaves. They grow around every single thing that they have the chance to grow around. This one might be a little far gone. Doggone it. I knew I needed to be out here 3 days ago. The mold isn't all the way through it. I mean, it's not all up in where it's in the open air. So I'm going to keep cutting on this. I'm going to eliminate a lot of mushroom doing this, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now we're getting there. This all looks really good here. I mean, there's not bugs in it. That all looks super good to me. I mean, it's old. It's spored out. But like I say, get her on the dehydrator. That can be really good. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I had to make these big enough to fit in my bag anyway, so this is actually totally convenient. It smells great. So alright, 2 big chunks for the bag. We'll call it good. I mean, even at just like eating that, or using that, which, you know, we had to cut some away, but that all looks really good to me. I still got a couple, 3-4 pounds of mushrooms here, easy. Grifola frondosa, we're on them, let's go! Let's go! Little test Maitake here. So I got some practice test pieces of Maitake in the pan here, and I'm just kind of seeing if they're still good. They don't look old, they don't taste old. I mean, I'm kind of just sitting here eating on these. That was a crunchy bit. Need to clean them better. Mild taste, very good. Nothing negative about that. I'm going to throw them in some butter and put them on top of a steak. Yes. So I'm a huge believer in cooking meals that make you feel alive, good inside. What I got in here right now is a bunch of onions, a bunch of maitake, and I'm going to get those cooked up. That's just going to be like an additive for my meal today. I baked an acorn squash. Too legit, totally soft. So before, when I was doing my little pre-taste test on those maitakes, I ate a couple of little chunks of it. And man, oh man, did my stomach start growling after that. Like, it was just like, give me more of that. And I listen to that. I make a mental note of that. Like, whoa, my body really wants this, more of this in it. So add into the equation that maitake is a prime edible, it's a medicinal, and for the reasons it's medicinal, it's basically shown to like regulate body functions and improve GI tract function, and I need all of that. These meals make me feel alive. Some onion, some maitake I'm cooking. I'm gonna throw a chunk of venison on this thing. Throw the mushrooms on top of anything. Just add a little butter and salt. Throw them on top of anything. They're great. They're good for you. Listen to your body when it's telling you this stuff. These maitakes are just chock full of nutrients, chock full of life. Respect the ingredients. When you got great ingredients, let it be simple. There's no real recipe today. After I was talking crap about just throwing mushrooms onto a steak the last episode, here I am throwing mushrooms on top of a steak. It's prime mushrooms, it's prime meat, it's a garden raised acorn squash. That's exactly how I want to eat. So I need to flip this stuff around, and I'm done lecturing now, but pay attention when your body's going when you eat something different that you don't eat all the time. It's trying to tell you that it really likes it, and you should be including that in your diet more. That's my 2 cents on it. So at the end of the show, I don't really even have a recipe for you. Take some Maitake, Grifola frondosa, Hen-of-the-Woods, whatever you want to call them. Put it in a frying pan with some onions and butter, and get them decently cooked, and throw them on top of anything you want to. Here I got an acorn squash. Here I have a piece of venison. Both topped with the exact same mixture. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what you throw it on. It's going to be nutritious, delicious, and an absolute treat to eat. I gotta let that steak rest for a minute, but ooh, am I ready for the face hit. That looks delicious. Whew. All right, face hit time. Here's the squash. Squash on the outside, onions up in front, maitake right up in front. I already know this is going to be good. In it goes. There's your vegetarian option. Bacon acorn squash at 350 until it gets a little soft. Oh, get that maitake on there. Man, some butter and some salt really wake those up. It was pretty bland, but a good texture on that first hit. That one's a lot sweeter. Yum. That's so good. Look at the steak. Get those maitakes and the onions in that meat juice. Oh yeah. They're dirty little buggers. I really thought I cleaned those maitakes really well, and I'm still getting just a small amount of dirt in them. I don't think it's bad to eat dirt, a little bit of it, but you can feel the crunch, and I don't love that. Hey, You're eating stuff that grew up in not a controlled environment. You're going to have to deal with stuff a little bit. Woo-wee! Here's that venison face hit. Ah, Maitake onions on the venison. Man, that. I don't know how food can get better than that. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want for my food, right there. Whew. Nice chunk of steak with the maitake and the onions on top of it. Nice piece of nice half acorn squash with the same exact maitake and onions in it is an absolute win. Get like me. There's plenty of deer out there. There's mushrooms in the woods that go rotten all the time. Onions are cheap. Get like me. Anyway, whew, that right there is death row food for me. Man, that's great. I could go on and on. But I'm going to get to eating. And with that, we'll just check out for the day. We out here. Catch you on the next one.